This is a shrine. All of these rocks are the names of people who have died out here in the desert.
So as Samaritans, you leave water bottles out here, but Border Patrol agents sometimes will just dump them out. Why?
It was to hinder migrants surviving or getting through.
This gun is in case somebody comes to the door. I've had 17 drug packers in my front yard.
Here's you with Trump.
I said, Mr. President, we need a wall.
You'll be surprised what these people living on the border have in common. We're here on the Arizona border of the United States and Mexico, where migrants often journey. This man has a cattle farm right on the edge. Hello, folks. How's it going? Good to see you.
Hi.
Thanks for having me on your ranch here.
Welcome.
Tell me a little bit about this collection of...
These are carpet shoes, and they are camouflage. They put them over their shoes like this, and they have carpet on the bottom. They don't leave tracks.
And these are all carpet shoes that were found on your properties.
Yeah, just around here. Everything that walks across the 4-strand barbed wire fence at the border ultimately goes through me also. This gun is in case somebody comes to the door. I've had 17 drug packers in my front yard. Me against 17, got the gun. It's kind of an equalizer.
Here's you with Trump.
He called me on the stage and talked about our ranch and the border issue. I said, Mr. President, we need a wall.
So you have cameras across your ranch that are capturing people walking through.
See the big packs of marijuana? That traffic is decreasing. We see less of the big packs and just the regular backpacks coming through. 1 kilogram of cocaine, 1 kilogram of heroin, extremely valuable in a backpack.
So you think it's less the most impoverished people of Central and South America, and almost entirely what you're seeing is drug traffickers?
Correct. This guy's, I'm sure, truly an immigrant. I always give water away. And he got on his knees and thanked me and wanted to give me his rosary. Oh, no, you'll need the rosary. He said, how far is it to St. Louis? He had no concept of the geography. When I told him about 3,000 kilometers, you should have seen his face.
Did you eventually call Border Patrol, or you said, hey, go on your way?
No. It's the Border Patrol's job to secure the international boundary and the interior. It's not my job.
You've got thousands and thousands of acres of property and fencing around it. You feel like they need a much bigger structure.
Yes, we need a barrier like that near Nogales, Arizona. Right now, it's nothing but a barbed wire cattle fence like this.
So even though you feel very strongly about the wall, you kind of recognize the humanity of a lot of the folks coming through.
That's right. Everybody needs water, so I have 22 wells with drinking fountains on them. And then come along and get a drink and then go on. They're just good people trying to get into the United States to work. Even the drug packers don't need to die. That's not a criminal capital offense. This is one of my 29 drinking fountains that I put out for people coming through the country. And all they have to do is step up and get a drink.
And that's fresh water that's being pumped around your property.
Right at the house here. And the Samaritans actually bought me 3 of them.
Your church has taken some risks to help those who are making the dangerous trek across the U.S.-Mexico border. Why?
The people who are crossing are the most desperate of the poor. And when I meet them and I say, people are dying out here, don't do this, they say to me, my children are hungry. I have to do this. Those are the kind of people I want as my neighbors. This is a shrine for the memory and the spirits of all of the people who have died out here in the desert since 1999. All of these rocks are the names of people who have died out here, horrible deaths. The border enforcement strategy since 1994 has been to wall off and militarize the places that people always cross, to force the migration into the deadliest areas of the desert, and then use the thousands of deaths that have occurred out there as a deterrent.
You're driving all the way down here about once a week to restock these water jugs.
Right, we try to go out every day, but this particular Monday group is always a water drop group.
So we're walking now on one of these trails where Samaritans drop off water jugs to migrants trying to pass through this area. Some of you folks could be retired now. Instead of in the hot, hot sun, why do you do it?
Our motto is humanitarian aid is not a crime, and that's what we're doing. We're leaving water, food, and some medical supplies where migrants are crossing.
So as Samaritans, you leave water bottles out here, but
Correct.
Border Patrol agents sometimes will just dump them out. Why?
It was to hinder migrants surviving or getting through or making it a more hostile environment. So the word would go out that, boy, you know, there was water, but all of it was destroyed. When that happened, the border sector chief sent out a mandate that his agents could not destroy water bottles.
We just came across some backpacks that had been left by migrants as they're making their journey up north here. It includes clothing, some sunscreen. What else is in there? There's
Looks like sardines.
So a little bit of food here, and it's camouflage, so we walked right by this initially. So you're not afraid that there's no wall dividing this area of the United States between Mexico?
El Chapo himself just recently in his trial said that building a wall wasn't going to stop drugs from coming into the country. He should know. If anybody should know, it's El Chapo.
It's the people that are coming here are fleeing such dangerous situations that they're not a danger to us.
Have you come across human remains in your hikes out here?
As a matter of fact, I have. It was really sobering. Finding a skull, vertebrae, rib bones, shin bones, arm bones. Would you leave your country for any other reason than being totally desperate for a new way of life?
Even though you guys are very different politically, especially when it comes to that wall, fundamentally the view people should be taken care of when they're injured and hurt.
Humans are humans, whether they're drug packers or undocumented immigrants. They have certain rights, civil rights, and it's just the way we Americans should treat other people.